You have been exposed to Elektra's radiation. Will you return?
Good day. What are we working on? We're working on a Bally Elektra. Just to get right into the video instead of talking, which I tend to do and a lot of people tend to do. This is a 3-level playfield. Top, middle, and underneath is the bottom. So it's a pretty cool feature with the game. And what the game does is as you play it, you earn points, flips over to the bottom playfield. The game works 100% with the exception of the general illumination lights in the bottom of the playfield. So if I go into test mode, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, everything works. Every light bulb does a good job. Now here's the illumination lights that I'm talking about here, but they're not working here. Okay, so let me lift up the playfield and I'll show you what I think is going on. I just got to show it off real quick. Take out the balls because they're just going to roll around. So here's the under playfield. And let me show you real quick. So this little playfield here is exactly that. How cute is that, eh? And you can see the light bulbs in here. There's a couple in here, one in here, so on and so forth. They do not light. And they're all right here. So, I've diagnosed the problem to one of these Triacs. One, I think it's this one, is not working, which won't turn these lights on. So, instead of trying to find something that's unobtainium, which I do have one, but I just don't know where it is, I thought I would just use some of these lights to light up the playfield. And the way I'm going to do it is, let me show you real quick here. All right, so let me turn the game on.
You have been exposed to Elektra's radiation. Will you return?
Pretty cool, eh? So, one of the tricks to these games is they have something called an auxiliary driver. This has got it right here. And there's a light bulb that just sits here and seemingly does nothing. So this is games like, okay, Elektra, obviously. I think Centaur has the same, Spectrum, and a whole bunch of others where they used to put more lights on and controlled lamps. And they went with this auxiliary driver, but you have to have this light bulb in order to make this work. And so you're going to see the bulb here as well. So if I put it in all lamps test, you'll see this bulb starting to flash. Okay, so what I plan on doing is I plan on taking power from here and hooking up these LEDs to illuminate the playfield. And it'll only come on when the lower playfield comes on because this light bulb comes on. Okay, is that a hack? I don't know. You tell me. Will it work? Well, let me get some, just some alligator clips to see if my idea is going to be successful or not. So give me 1 second. Okay, so as you can see, we're in all lamps test. This bulb is glowing. And I just put a couple alligator clips to feed power to a bulb. Okay, so it will work. Now, again, is this a hack or is it just a workaround? I'm going to make sure that I'm doing it in a fashion where if I ever come across one of these Triacs, I'll be able to reverse the process. So I'm not really cutting into anything. So what I'll do is let's take off the mini playfield here, bring it back to the bench. work on it there with a bit more comfort. Okay, let's take the lower playfield out. I finally got a camera support, so no more sketchy, shaky pictures. Perfect. Okay, let's bring it to the bench. Okay, so these are the lights that aren't working. What I plan on doing is I'm going to use these LED sticks, and I'm just going to put them, I'll put like one here, two, what is it, 3, 4. Might actually end up pointing these ones at the playfield. And I'm going to feed them, again, off of this light. Right? So now I'm actually going to put a better socket in because these sockets aren't the best. Because this has to work for all the other LEDs to work as well. And again, I'm going to do it in a fashion that I'm not making any permanent alterations to it, so I could easily go back to stock just by changing a couple of bulbs, or sorry, just by removing a couple of lines. And I'm also going to change not only the socket but the bulb. I'm going to put a cooler running bulb in it. These things take up like very, very little power, so with a I think it's a 47 bulb instead of a 45. They run a lot cooler, and then it might stress the transistor a bit by having these 4 in line, but hey, let's throw some caution to the wind. If it stops working, I know why. So okay, so I'll set you up and we'll start soldering. Okay, let's change out this light. We're changing out the socket, but it has to be an incandescent bulb. It cannot be an LED. So I'm putting a new socket in, and I'm going to put a cooler running bulb, but again, just an old school regular bulb, not an LED. Okay, we got a blue with orange. Let's go through my stash here. What do you know, blue with orange. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to run some 12 volt through it with my trusty power supply. Now this is DC, so remember DC is direct current. It's just like hooking up a battery to it. The general illumination run on alternating current, AC, but this will tell us if that bulb's going to work. Put it on ground, and I should be able to touch this because it's spliced into here, and it should light it up. Perfect. Okay. Makes sense, right? So now it's a question of putting these 4 strategically on the playfield, hooking up this feed to each one of these inputs, and this just goes on the return braid, and I'll show you that in more detail. I'll do one I'll do them off camera. I'll do one on camera, and then I'll show you what we're talking about at the end. I actually thought of a better idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this bulb permanently. I'll just take it right out. So I'll unscrew it. I'll desolder it from here. I'll pull this out, and I'll do the same thing here. I'll feed the wire through here and here, and then project the light from the inside and make it look a little bit more factory. That means factory if you follow some of the other YouTube channels. And these are flaky at best. That's why, if you look, I replaced the whole game. I replaced every socket at some great amount of time. Not really expense, but again, if I want to put it back to stock, it's just a question of putting a better light lamp socket in and getting rid of these crappy sockets and make it look that much better. So I'll bring you back. Okay, so here's where we're at. I ran all the wires through the 2 holes, 1, 2, and then I ran some up the sides, and I'll show you what happens on the other side. So just for reference, all these bulbs, these are like milliamps. They take up like 0 power, so I'm not worried about burning out any transistors or anything. They feed off of this light, which comes on when the lower playfield comes on. And what we got going on are all these lights, and you can see, for the most part, they're tapped into where the plastics go on. There's another one here, 2 here, 2 here, and again, they're all daisy chains, so it goes from here to here, underneath, to here, so on and so on, and then it's got one common ground. So if I turn the lights off, I turn on my handy dandy power supply. You can see the light that it's shining off. And then when we put the plastics on, I think it's mission accomplished. So, all right, let's get it in the game. Let's see how it looks. It's still kind of bright in here, so you can't really get the full effect. And we'll bring you back. Okay, so this is the game in a track mode. You cannot even see the lower playfield. So what happens, you accumulate enough points, the ball drains here, the bottom playfield becomes active, and before all I had were the controlled lamps. I didn't have any GI. I'm just going to put it into test mode for the lamps. And you can see it. Those are the GIs coming on, and the lamp mounts. So I'm gonna call this mission accomplished. Now, let's play a game. Actually, we're gonna fake playing a game because who knows how long it'll take.
Have been exposed.
Okay, let's start a game.
Entering the radiant dimension, Elektra.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fake a few things here, just to get the lower playfield to light up.
Elektra.
I've got some Elektra points there. Again, this playfield's dark under here. Okay, we should have enough points now to start the lower play field, which we do. Perfect. See how good I can do with one hand here.
Elektra time has expired.
Mission accomplished. So, still got some quirks in the game, got to work out. But more or less, I'm going to consider this thing done. And ready for the next video. So, hope you found some fun in this one anyway. If there's anybody being dogged by the general illumination in these types of games, maybe that might be a good hack. Obviously, if it was the upper playfield, no way I could do it. Way too many lights, way too many errors. So I just thought, you know what, for the little one, it's not going to stress the GI that much, and it's just going to make the gameplay that much better. Anyway, okay, friends, like, share, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff, and we'll catch you on the next one.